Hello friends, and welcome back to Alien Protocols, the Advanced Protocols Data Project. There is a theory that there is something called a Von Neumann probe. And a Von Neumann probe is the type of probe that a civilization would send out into space. And this craft would search the universe for interesting areas and interesting planets. And when it found an interesting planet, as it cruised around the galaxies, it might hone in on certain biological systems. And once it lands on that planet, or approaches that planet, or sees that planet, it creates a little base. The craft lands nearby, not too close, and builds a little tiny base of some kind. And what this base does, and what makes a Von Neumann probe interesting, is Von Neumann probes basically can create themselves. They reproduce. So the Von Neumann probe lands, it creates a factory, and then the factory starts sending out Von Neumann probes. Now, logic would tell you that they could create a lot more than Von Neumann probes. That these factories could create all sorts of different types of probes. And could create all sorts of different types of things needed for the probes. Many people believe, like we do, that these probes are not piloted by first generation original species, that these craft are piloted, quote unquote, by second generation artificial creatures designed for space travel and designed for this mission. And the information gathering mission of Von Neumann probes is very, very logical. So, after this craft has built up all of these things, it may go to the planet, and even in the planet somewhere, hidden, create some factories. And different types of craft. Some craft would be orbiting craft that we could detect with the Advanced Protocols Cube satellites that we've talked about in previous episodes. But either way, however the Von Neumann probes reproduce themselves, they could monitor a planet for eons. They could have noticed life on Mars and been around ever since. So there's a very good possibility that on some level, the UFOs we are seeing now are some type of Von Neumann probe. What do you guys think? Very fascinating questions and notions. And you know what? I was going to do this in a separate video, but I will talk about it now. There has been a huge drop in UFO cases. There was a gigantic rise in the 90s, right around to 2016, which matches exactly what we've been saying, especially about the big Tic Tac UFO group, with the shape-shifting bean and the saucers and the longer mothership. That whole group was super active right in here, and that's during this big escalation. But what's very concerning is this right here, the big drop in sightings between 2014, 15, 16 era and now. And if the craft is doing what we believe they're doing, gathering biological samples and information on consciousness and all the data that any life form on Earth could provide, when they've finished that mission, That's a scary moment. Why did they predict that now was the time that they needed to do that? Maybe they see something about our society or where we're going that we don't. This says that the emergency bells are ringing. What do you guys think? Much love to you and yours.